So hey guys, welcome back to another video. This time we're gonna do a versus video between three incredible bosses from the masterpiece that is Hollow Knight Silksong. The three bosses I will be talking about in this video will be Karmelita, Lost Lace, and the First Sinner. And I'm gonna put them against one another in 5 categories: soundtrack, arena, moveset, visual design, and difficulty. The boss with the most points by the end of this tournament will be crowned the best boss in Silksong. So let's begin the tournament and let's talk about which of these 3 bosses have the best soundtrack. Now, beginning with the First Sinner, I think this music is absolutely kick-ass. It's so freaking phenomenal because it's such fast pace, which is absolutely perfect for this fight. I mean, the First Sinner is an incredibly fast boss, one of the fastest if not the fastest in the entire game, and so the music really matches what's happening on the screen. And if things weren't fast enough in first phase, in second phase the music even gets faster because the fight also gets faster, and we have ourselves a super intense, super fun, super cool song that again matches perfectly what's happening on the screen. If there's any kind of negative, is that this is also the same soundtrack that the Widow uses. Now, it does make sense because they are both weavers, but still I would rather that this was just an original song only for the First Sinner. Still incredible song. Now, talking about Karmelita's soundtrack, now this is an incredibly beautiful song. My god, I don't know who is the person that sings this song, but what a voice, like seriously. To me, this is not just one of the best boss soundtracks in the game, it is literally one of the best in the entire game. That's how good Karmelita's song is. Is it the best one of these 3? Well, we still have Lost Lace to talk about. And Lost Lace soundtrack is the same as Karmelita. It's an incredible song, it's one of the best in the entire game, and it's a perfect way to finish the game. And I'll be honest, from these 3, I think it's the best one when it comes to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's so incredibly well done, and it's an excellent way to finish the game. Such an incredible, epic soundtrack, and extremely emotional, as it should be. So choosing one of these 3 was very hard. I mean, without a doubt the First Sinner is out of the equation, even though I do love the song. So this is between Karmelita and Lost Lace, and Karmelita is without a doubt, I think, probably the most beautiful and the one that I listen to the most, without a doubt, that's for sure. But Lost Lace is, like I said, the best constructed one from beginning to end, and it has an incredible emotional punch on you as you're fighting the final boss from the game. However, I'm not gonna give a winner to this. I'm actually gonna give a tie to Karmelita and Lost Lace. I'm sorry, but I do think they're both so incredibly good. They're both a 10 out of 10, and they both deserve a point. So 1 point for Karmelita and 1 point for Lost Lace. Now it's time to talk about the arena, and I'm gonna start with Karmelita. Now this arena is absolutely gorgeous to me. I absolutely love to see Karmelita in the background as we fight the gauntlet first, and she's basically just singing to this crowd of ants until we eventually beat every single enemy in the screen, and then she jumps to the center of the arena. I absolutely love the color palette used in this arena. I just wish the background wasn't so blurry, but still really nice arena. Now it's time to talk about Lost Lace, and this arena is pretty much darkness, and then we have Grandmother Silk at the background and lots of webs of silk. There isn't much going on other than that. I mean, I do like watching Grandmother Silk a lot at the background, but I do confess that the fact that the arena is crazy dark and the fact that also Lost Lace is like completely black, sometimes it gets a little bit in the way of the fight. So yeah, kind of cool visually, but the darkness of the arena can definitely be a problem sometimes. And for last we have the First Sinner, and this is the one I have the least to talk about because this arena is pretty much just a black screen with a little bit of webs here and there, so there's not much going on. I understand that it does a good contrast because of the color of the First Sinner, which is completely white. So yeah, the contrast works nicely, but there's really not much going on in this arena. It could not be more simple than this. So yeah, not amazing in any way, shape or form. So this one was incredibly easy to pick. Of course, Karmelita gets the win on this, so another point for Karmelita. And let's move on to the next category, which is the moveset. And starting with Lost Lace, this is a very complex fight with a ton of moves and a ton of phases, because Lost Lace has 4 phases. I think it's the only boss in the entire game with 4 phases. In her first phase, she does pretty much like the same moveset that she had in the second time that we fought her, maybe with a little bit of tweaks here and there, but visually they're pretty much the same. In her second phase, she brings void attacks, which are incredibly hard to deal with. In her third phase, she will bring these gigantic void waves, which are not really much of a problem, but they look cool, definitely. And in her fourth phase, she will bring these massive explosions that are really hard to avoid, and if I'm not mistaken, they will do 3 masks of damage, which is absolutely insane. So a very complex moveset, lots of attacks, lots of things to deal with. This is one hell of a crazy boss when it comes to moveset. Now it's time to talk about the first sinner, and most of the attacks from the first sinner are these needles that she uses to hit us, and they appear in many positions. They can come from above, from diagonals, from the sides, and they're like super fast. Another thing that she does, she has like a dive attack where she goes into the air and then goes into a diagonal. She also has like kind of a charge attack where she's like running in your direction, and in second phase she adds lots of explosions to the moveset, but if I'm not mistaken, that's the only attack she adds in her second phase. So pretty cool moveset, without a doubt, very cool visually, but not very complex. And now it's time for our final boss, and that is of course Karmelita. Karmelita has a few combos. She has this jump that she does where she seems like Sonic the Hedgehog. She has a few projectiles that she throws, and then when she enters second phase, she starts running around the arena from one side to the other and adding like some spikes on the floor, and she doubles the amount of projectiles that she uses. Now, apparently Karmelita does have a third phase, but honestly, I don't think there's any new move. If I'm not mistaken, she just seems to attack more frequently, but when it comes to moves, I don't think she adds nothing new in third phase, so that's all there is, the ones that you see in first and second phase. So that means that it's time to pick a winner, and I think this is a no-brainer. Without a doubt, when it comes to moveset, Lost Lace, it is without a doubt the winner here, which means that we have 2 points for Karmelita, 0 for First Sinner, and 2 for Lost Lace. Now it's time for our fourth category, and we have visual design. And starting with the First Sinner, I already talked about her visual design many times in other videos, and I absolutely love the way she looks. Again, I love her big head, which looks very kind of scary and creepy, and I love the white dress that seems a lot like a certain Marilyn Monroe dress. I've said this many times, so I guess we can continue to the next boss, but again, I really like the First Sinner appearance. Our second boss that we're going to talk about is Karmelita, and basically she's like the queen of the ants, and she looks absolutely amazing. I really love her design. I love the discs that she has. I love the color palette. She looks like a badass. She looks like a queen. She just looks amazing. What else can I say? I absolutely love her visual design. And for last, we have the Lost Lace, and this is probably a controversial opinion, but I'm not the biggest fan of Lost Lace design. For an antagonist, I don't think she looks very scary at all. I think she looks more cute than anything, and if we compare her to some of the most important characters in the Hollow Knight series, like the Knight or Hornet or Pure Vessel, I think she's a big downgrade. Again, she doesn't look bad or anything, she just does not look menacing at all. It doesn't matter how difficult she is. I just think she's more on the cute side, and I'm not the biggest fan of her visual design. Again, I like it, it just doesn't blow me away like other characters in this game. And for that I have to pick one, and it was always going to be between Karmelita and the First Sinner, but I definitely have a favorite, and it's Karmelita. I don't just think she's the best one in here, I think she might just be my favorite in the entire game when it comes to visual design. I absolutely love how she looks, so even though I do like the First Sinner, I think Karmelita is a clear winner here, so another point for Karmelita. And that leaves us with 2 points for Lost Lace, 0 for First Sinner, and 3 for Karmelita. And now we're going to the final category, which will decide our winner, and that is difficulty. And starting with Karmelita, she has 3 phases where she has lots of attacks. In her first phase, she mostly throws discs at you, and she does this jumping attack that I already mentioned, and she has a few combos. In the second phase, she will add more discs to the fight, she does a running attack, and in third phase, she just goes lunatic mode and she just attacks you non-stop. She's a very hard boss, no doubts about it. I think that is pretty much consensual. Now, what is not consensual is our second boss in this category, and that is the First Sinner. The First Sinner is a boss that some people think that is hard and other people think that is crazy easy. I am on the side that thinks that the first sinner is quite hard. Not crazy hard, but definitely hard. She gave me a big challenge. Because of her insane speed, she teleports like crazy, and she can also heal, which is a major factor here. She also has 2 phases, and those explosions in second phase joining her insane speed are definitely a challenge to be taken seriously. And for last, we have Lost Lace, which is an insanely hard boss. I mean, I already said that this boss has 4 phases, which is crazy. Any boss with 4 phases definitely means business. She is the final boss in Act 3, and she will definitely give you a hard time. To me, it's not even close. I'm gonna say the winner right away, because to me this is probably the easiest category to pick. Lost Lace wins by a mile. I spent 8 goddamn hours on Lost Lace, and I think she's not just the hardest boss in this game, she's one of the hardest bosses I fought in any game ever. Now granted, I did not use any of the tools, I only used my nail, but I did the same for every boss in the game, and without a doubt Lost Lace was the biggest challenge of them all. So it's time for our final countdown, and we have 3 points for Karmelita, 0 points for the first sinner, and 3 points for Lost Lace. Which means that our winner and the best boss in Silksong is the first sinner.